Okay, so today I'm going to make farmer's cheese. It's a white cheese, and you use vinegar to separate the curds from the whey. So right now I'm going to begin by pouring all of my milk, and I'm going to use 3 gallons today, just a little over 3 gallons of the cheese. And we're going to begin right now. So I've got 3 gallons of milk, and I'm just going to pour it all into my pot right here. This is one of the easiest cheeses to make. It is a long process because you have to keep it so hot. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start it. I have to heat the milk. This is 1.5 milk to 185 degrees. So that takes a while. So I'm going to begin, I'm going to stir it often. So get my spoon ready. And then I will stir it often, and when we get close to 185 degrees, we'll move on to the next step. We are at 130 degrees. We got about 60 more degrees to go. Almost there. So we're almost at 185 degrees, so I'm going to start preparing my next step. So I'm using organic apple cider vinegar, and I need 1/4 cup for each gallon, so I'm going to put in a little over 3/4 cup. So that is about it right there. We used raw goat's milk to make this cheese. So I need to stir it often to make sure that the milk doesn't scorch on the bottom of the pan. So I give it a good stir and then check my temperature. And I've lost the sound in my video for some reason. So I have a container here to catch the whey in my stainless steel colander. I've got here some butter muslin that I'm going to use as to contain my curds, and I'm going to wet it in cool water. It just seems to help keep the curds from sticking to the butter muslin. So I'm going to just line my colander with this butter muslin, and then we'll start scooping and then pouring into this. I save my whey because I give the whey to the chickens. They absolutely love it. So I'm going to put it in a container that I can leave sit and cool, because you can't get too hot, that's for sure. This is really, really hot. So now I'm just stirring it around and making sure that my temperature is at 185 degrees. Checking it. We're just about there, and then I'm going to pull the thermometer out, of course, and then I'm getting ready to pour the vinegar into the milk. So I've poured the vinegar into the milk here, and it has already begun separating the curds from the whey. You can see the whey has that yellowish color to it,
and the curds kind of look clumpy on the top there, and they float. So I leave it sit for a few minutes so that the curds can really separate good, and then I start to scoop the curds out of the pan into my colander, and to drain off the whey from that. I have it sitting under a bucket there, and so once I get all the curds out, then I let the whey cool so that I can feed it to the chickens. So here I'm going to finish dumping the whey into the colander with the rest of the curds. You can see them all clumped up in there, and the liquid is the whey. And it's going to over. So then I'm going to put the curds back into the pan so that I can add salt to them and whatever else that I might add to the cheese. This time I'm just going to make the plain cheese. So I'm just going to add salt. Here I am adding the salt. I use Redmond's real salt this time in the cheese. That is an all-natural salt mined here in the United States in Utah, and it's got all the vitamins and minerals left in it. It's unrefined, and I'm going to put about, because I'm using 3 gallons of milk, I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons or so of salt. Then I'm going to mix it all up, get the salt incorporated into the cheese curds, mix it up real well, and then I'm going to put it back into the colander in the sink. So here I'm going to dump the curds back into the sink. I mean into the colander, not the sink, to get them ready for the mold. So once I get them back into the cheesecloth there, then I'm going to get them ready to go into the mold. Or the cheese press, I should say. It's a cheese press. So here we go. Getting ready to stick that into the cheese press. And I have to work it down in there. There's a lot of cheese here, so it's going to be a pretty full press this time. It's still hot. It's hard to hold up because it's so hot. Try working it down into the press to get all the curds to fit down in there. And so I put the follower in to over the top of the cheese, and now I'm putting the lid on the top of the press, and I'm going to screw down the top so that I've got about 10 pounds of pressure, and then I'm going to leave it sit, and I'm going to keep adjusting it until it holds the pressure that I set it at. I'm going to set it at about 10 to 15 pounds depending on the cheese. And so this one here, I've got the pair of pliers and I'm adjusting the pressure on the press. So here I am taking the cheese out of the press. So I've taken the lid off, released the pressure, taken the lid off. Now I'm going to take the follower out. And the follower just basically puts an even pressure on the top of the cheese so that your cheese is even across the top as well as the bottom. And it pushes down evenly. So I'm going to pull the cheesecloth up, and I'm going to use that to take the cheese out of the press. Yep. And I'm just going to pull it and hope it comes out good. Yep, there it goes. Very good. Came out easy, actually. And then I'm going to take the cheesecloth off carefully so that it doesn't pull the cheese away with the cloth. Oh, that's looking good. It's coming off good. Yeah, there we go. Yep, that looks good. Oh, it's perfect. Came off perfectly. Awesome. I love it when a good cheese comes out right. So now I'm going to weigh it because I'm curious to see how much cheese I get from 3 gallons of milk. I have a digital scale there, and I'm going to zero it out and then set my cheese on. See what we get. Oh yeah. Wow. I said wow. 3 pounds, 3.88 pounds out of 3 gallons of cheese. That's almost 4 pounds of cheese. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that's really good. So that's how you do it. I'm going to separate it